Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. So, you will probably know by now that I am very familiar with the path of people pleasing because I walked it for so long, for years, for decades even. And I might not have even known it was a path called people pleasing at the time. But the reason I was on that path was because I thought that what the pattern I was following, the path I was following, would lead me to peace, to connection with others, to feeling accepted, to being liked, to being the good one. And on the outside, it worked really, but inside, I felt completely disconnected from who I was and dissatisfied with life. And I want you to know if you're at that stage or have ever been at the stage where you feel like you don't even know what you like anymore, you don't know what you want from life, you don't know who you are. I want you to know that it's completely understandable because if you think about it, that people pleasing path that you are so familiar with, it's easy to walk it, isn't it? Because it's so well trodden. You don't even have to think about what you're doing half the time, it's just happening. But unfortunately, it is taking you further and further away from who you are, from knowing yourself. So, no wonder it can feel like you don't know what you like anymore. You don't know what you want from life. And that can be horrible to feel. I know because I've been there as well in the past. And I know it's not uncommon as well when you are in that pattern of people pleasing. And the thing is, people pleasing often starts out feeling like the right thing to do, like you're on the right path. You know, you're agreeable, you're kind and helpful, you go with the flow, you avoid conflict, you get on with everyone. You're seen as easygoing, as good, as calm, as likable, someone who doesn't cause drama. But what people don't see is the silent panic or the anxiety attack and the spiral of overthinking when someone even seems a little bit disappointed in you or upset by you. That instant hit of guilt and fear of letting people down the moment you consider possibly saying no or realize that you're too busy to do something. The way you keep smiling and nodding, even if something doesn't sit right with you when you're in a group of people and your stomach twists in knots because you really want to speak up about something, but your whole body is resisting. You can feel the adrenaline making you feel dead shaky inside. So it just feels easier to stay and please them and agree with them. The quiet resentment that builds and builds but never gets spoken out loud because a part of you feels like you're not even allowed to feel that way. And it shows up in the little moments too. Like when you bite your tongue after your partner's done something that's really bothered you or upset you, because it just feels easier than risking some sort of confrontation or conflict. Or when you sit there thinking, why does no one ever think about me or consider what I want? After all the effort you're constantly putting into them. It's the endless indecision, standing in front of the fridge or staring at your phone or staring at a menu or just saying, I don't mind whatever you're having again and again because you're so used to tuning out of your own wants. You're not sure what they even are anymore. It's the worrying that you'll come across as too much or too blunt or too needy or say the wrong thing. And slowly, without meaning to, as I say, the path takes you further from yourself. Every time you choose comfort for someone else over honesty for you, you're walking a little further away from yourself. And the worst part is, it doesn't feel like there is another option. It doesn't even feel like there's a different path half the time. But people pleasing isn't just who you are. You're not stuck on that path forever. It's not a fixed personality trait, even though sometimes it feels like it is. It's a nervous system response. It's a survival strategy. It's a way that your brain and your body have learned to be in order to feel emotionally and sometimes physically safe. And therefore, you were placed on that path. You didn't choose it at the beginning. You were placed on the path by the messages you received, the rules that were imposed on you, the beliefs that formed early on from the different environments you were exposed to. Society, culture, religion, school, parents, friends. Maybe in those environments at times, or all the time. It wasn't safe to be you. It wasn't safe to be bold. It wasn't safe to speak up. It wasn't safe to express how you're feeling. You couldn't have big emotions. Maybe you were taught to stay small, to keep others comfortable. So you became the easy one, the low maintenance one, the one who blends in or bends over backwards and keeps things light for everyone. You didn't choose that path. And now it's about knowing you do have a choice now. You are safe now. And it's about helping your mind and your body feel safe enough to know that it can choose differently. And this is something I talk about a lot. It feels easier to stay on our current path, even if it's hurting you, or even if logically and rationally you know that it's not helping you, but it feels familiar. So therefore it feels easier. You know how to walk it with your eyes closed. You know there's no obstacles in the way. You know what to expect. You know how to be and how to feel and how to respond. There's comfort in predictability, even when it comes with burnout, resentment, because your nervous system, it craves the familiar from past experiences and things you've been exposed to. It learned people pleasing is my protection. I follow this path because it protects me from withdrawal of others, from rejection, from fear of conflict, from being left out, from not being liked, from how it feels to say no to someone. It's my protection. So no wonder the thought of no longer following that path is exposing. It feels vulnerable. It is vulnerable. It's uncertain, which just compounds that sense of danger that your nervous system senses. And therefore, that's why it can feel so anxiety inducing, even if rationally you know it's okay to do stuff for yourself. You feel unsure and wobbly. And it's so easy to misinterpret that anxiety as a sign you're doing something wrong, or a sign that something really bad's about to happen if you start living life more on your own terms. But what if it's not wrong? What if it's just highlighting you're about to enter unfamiliar territory? You're about to unlearn this pattern that you know logically isn't helping you. What if it's trying to make sense of the unfamiliar territory by using feelings from the past when you were a child and had to be agreeable and comply, otherwise your parents would tell you off, or when you're in a relationship to avoid conflict and to feel or be safe? What if your body is remembering that? What if the anxiety isn't a red flag? It's a sign that you are about to change things, that you're about to find your way through new territory, one that leads towards your truth, your needs, your voice, your real life, a path that takes you back to yourself.